It's been quite a while since we've done anything to the Chaser on the channel, so today this is just some maintenance that needed to be done last time. I noticed after I stripped the wheel studs, which you would have seen on the previous video. They're all fixed now, thank God, but today we are just putting in some Dixel pads and brake rotors, which are a bit heavy to pick up when you're sitting down. This shouldn't take too long. I know how to take the brakes off after I fixed the parking brake last time, so come with me, let's install these and we'll have a chat about what my plans are for the car and what mod we're doing first. If you're new to the channel, my name's Pat, this is 2PJZ. Behind me is my 1 out of 528 ever made 8L4 blue Toyota Chaser JZX100. It's a dead stock original car. We're starting to change that with a few little mods, but today this is maintenance. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get stuck in. In this townhouse complex is that we get 2 parking spots and sometimes I don't even need to take up the whole space, so that should be fine there. So let's see what we're working with here. So these are the Dixel Extra Crews. They're just real basic ones because I don't need anything for like track work. So the part number on these is just here. If you want to pause the screen to watch that yourself later on, just if you want to get these for your car. I'm pretty sure they're the right type. These are the ones that RHD Japan told me. They've got the 2 little pins here on either side. They look the same as what I put back on there last time, so I'm really hoping they're the right ones, but it should be cool. Finding brakes for a Chaser is pretty tricky because there are so many different types. Then for the rotors, again, just like real basic street daily driver rotors for my car, which is what I need. These look nice, these look big. They look the right size though, which is cool. So the first step is to crack the wheel nuts while the car is still on the ground, and then you want to get your jack out with a jack stand, get the car in the air, get the jack stand under the car to make sure it's properly supported, and then you are ready to roll. Then we take the wheel off, do this with your ratchet gun to make it a little bit quicker, and chuck it under the car for some extra security. Now that the wheel's off, the car's safely supported on the jack stand and the jack here, we can start taking the brake off. I'm pretty sure it's a 14mm, but man, looking at these pads now, there's not too much life left on them, and the rotors, you can feel all the grooves in them and they just look so old. But here's our new wheel studs, which look pretty nice. Real plan with the Chaser while we're doing this is actually, besides basic servicing and maintenance obviously, the main thing that I want to do with this is get the manual swap done. I want to get the lip kit on. I've talked about that in previous videos. That's coming hopefully in the new year, but the main reason I'm doing this today is because we're actually driving the Chaser home to Adelaide for Christmas this year, and I just wanted to make sure it was all perfect. Last time I got it serviced, when I got it professionally checked, they said the brakes were due. And I've been waiting a little while for the brakes now from my not so overnight parts from Japan, so I'm pretty stoked to actually be finally ready to get them on the car. It's been a long time coming. Hopefully it's pretty quick and painless, but wise words are always said beforehand, I've found, with this stuff, so we'll see. Just wanted to confirm that it is 4 14mm bolts on the back of the brake, and nothing did go wrong this time. When you get the brake caliper off, put it on the suspension strut if you don't have anywhere to hang it. That's a cool tip from me. Now we've got these off, you can see that these pads, if you look in there, have just totally had it. Probably the right hand side more than the left hand side, but regardless, these need a little change, so take those ones out. That's what they look like. So a little bit of meat left on that. That's still pretty decent, but it's just this one that's really letting the team down there. So make sure you hold on to these if you're doing this yourself. I don't think the new pads come with new clips, so put them to the side. And these bolts, the longer bolts, are for the caliper bracket behind the brakes, and then the shorter bolts are for the little pins at the top here. Next up, we want to clean the hubs. They look pretty clean because I just did this only a couple months ago when I put the new wheel studs on. You should wait and see what the other side looks like. Ordinarily, you'd use a wire brush for a job like this, but I just used a cloth because I'd done this just before. You can really see how worn the old pads are. Look at that compared to the meat on the new one. That's nuts. The next thing to do here is to grab your disc head spreader tool. If you don't have one or you don't know what it is, it's essentially this silver tool that you're seeing, and you put it between your old pad and your piston to spread out the piston because your new pads will have so much more meat. Then we chuck the new brake pads in, we put the brake caliper back on, tighten everything down, and hey presto, we are good to go. So one side of the car is done now. We've got the fresh rotors on, the pads, and it is pretty straightforward. Not a mechanic by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just giving this a go. This is actually my first time doing rear brakes, and I haven't broken anything yet, touch wood. So keep going and check in soon. Now it's time to chuck the wheel nuts on, and if I've learned anything from last time, it's to do it finger tight. And then we tighten everything down, drop the car, and head over to the other side. There you go, that's what it's supposed to look like if you end up taking it off and, like me before, totally forget. But look how dirty and caked and crap that is. As always, when you're doing a job on a car, doing the other side after you've already done one is so much faster. So I'm just speeding through here. You can see me actually this time using a wire brush on this side of the car. It is so satisfying seeing it all come off, and look how fresh that new rotor is. Super keen to get this all on. It's very, very quick, much quicker than the other side. Having a look at this side now. Unlike the other side, which I already only a couple months ago put back together after doing my studs, this side has not been touched in my ownership. So I'm going to take those pins out, put them over there. Let's have a look at the brakes. I think on the other side I put this locking pin at the front down there. So I have to remember that goes at the back. So I'll pop those out. Yeah, just like the other side, these ones are pretty toast. So I'll get the new ones and show you what they look like. And then we should be good to sort of spray this down a little bit, which we'll do now actually. We'll just spray it down quickly. I forgot to mention on the other side of the car, but make sure you clean your new brake rotors. These could have any form of packaging film or preservative film or some form of spray on them that you don't want getting on your brake pad. Just a very quick break from me before we finish doing the brakes, no pun intended there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. If you've enjoyed watching my videos, even something as what seems to me like quite a mundane job of changing the brakes on the Chaser, this is just a start of heaps more cool content coming to the channel. I'm breaking up the Japan vlogs today slightly by doing some work to the Chaser, as I said, because we're going to this road trip. And if you subscribe now, you are getting in very, very early. I've got some massive dreams, goals, hopes, and ambitions for this channel. And I really, really honestly do feel like it's going places. And my Instagram's growing really well, my short form stuff's growing well, but the long form stuff is a bit of a grind. And I know that comes with more volume and me getting a better storyteller and also just doing more interesting stuff. So if you've liked the last couple of Japan videos, you might have found me through one of my other Chaser videos. Now you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that right now. And if you have, then thank you so much. I am really wanting to take this full time. It's a real big dream of mine. I really want to sit down and talk properly about who I actually am, because I haven't been able to show too much of myself yet on the channel besides a few little snippets that you might see. But my background professionally is in media and comms, and I like to try and bring that professional background and my storytelling and just my super stupid insane passion for cars to this channel. I won't blab on about that now. I'll make a separate video about exactly who I am and why I think you should jump on board. But thank you so much for your support. If you're a subscriber who's coming back to watch this, it honestly means the world to me. I see every comment, every engagement on my YouTube. As I said, the Instagram stuff is going really well, but the YouTube is taking a while and it is still very small and there's only a few comments. So I do see the few of you that reach out. So thank you so much. Let's get back into the install. Now that's done, it's time to tighten everything up and get ready because we are so close now. Success. Brakes installed in the car. The next step now is obviously put the wheel back on, take it for a little test drive. Obviously I'll torque the nuts down and then we will come back and have a final assessment. I feel like I need to put this reminder in because if there's anyone out there like me who may strip their wheel studs, just please, for the love of God, make sure you do everything finger tight. Please, please, please. Oh, there's always something. I always forget at least one thing, and look. Forgot to put the caliper pins back on, or the pads on top of the pads. Oh, you've got to be kidding. All right, well, I guess it's time to jack the car back up, but I won't film this. I'm just going to get it done quickly. I literally just put everything away. Like, I've been packing up everything that's around me. Oh, boy. Whew, man, I feel pretty stuffed after that. So now that's done, it's time to take the car for a test drive, see if everything works as it should. Oh, I really need a hoist. I feel absolutely spent doing that. We're almost there. We are so close now. I always forget I have that. So testing the brake out now, just trying to put a little bit of air back into the system, and hopefully as we drive a little bit, that piston will come out as the car's actually moving and then has to stop. But we'll see if it works. All right, so just come to a stop after maybe about 5 minutes of driving. Everything seems pretty good. So I'm gonna turn around, head home and wrap up, but pretty happy with that. I honestly thought I was gonna have some form of issue, but no, it feels good. Feels really, really good. Just really happy to get something done. There's always a really good feeling about just doing some form of maintenance to your car. Really, really good. Anyway, I shouldn't vlog and drive, so I'll see you at home. Just returned back from the test drive. Everything works really well. The brakes pull up so much better than it used to. So the next video you'll see with the Chaser is installing the HKS intake, and we're also driving to Adelaide for Christmas. So I'm gonna film that and see how the Chaser goes driving 800 kilometers from Adelaide to Melbourne. So if you love Chaser content, you've found the right place. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment on what you enjoy about the car. Thank you so much for watching. As I said before, I'm not a mechanic by any means. I just enjoy trying to teach people the things that I've learned, because I didn't grow up in a car loving household. I only learned about cars through the internet. So if there's someone like me out there who's watching this, then this is for you. But if you're just a Chaser fan or a fan of my work or JDM cars in general, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. My name's Pat. This is 2PJZ. See you in the next one.